Is approaching and many islanders are struggling to make ends meet. High grocery prices, increased costs of fuel and cost of living are stressing families at a time when we should be celebrating with family and friends. Compounding many costs is the added burden of bridge tolls inflating the cost of goods. Every time people cross the bridge for medical appointments and every good that is transported into and out of PEI is taxed with an additional financial burden of transportation tax. The Confederation Bridge, a critical link for commerce and travel, has become a tax on convenience and necessity, making it even harder for families to afford essentials. Adding to Islanders' frustration is the unfair reality that the Champlain Bridge in Quebec is toll-free, while Islanders must pay what now equates to almost $4 per kilometre to cross or receive goods. Senator Percy Down rightly pointed out this is the most expensive drive in Canada. Compounding this is the federal government's complete mismanagement of the Wood Islands Ferry, further limiting connection links for Islanders. Question to the Premier. How has the Prime Minister's continued inaction on reducing tolls impacted Islanders' cost of living, and what can be done to address the ripple effect on affordability for families and businesses?
The Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank the honourable member for the question. I guess it's no secret that when you have to pay the toll to get across the bridge, it does add to the bottom line that gets passed on to the consumer in the end. And I would also add that policies such as the carbon tax on diesel fuel for the trucking industry and the clean fuel initiative that the federal government has implemented, another 5 cents, have also added to the cost, and which I've said in here time and time again have been one of the main reasons why the cost of groceries and the cost of living in PEI has been higher here than most, because all of our stuff comes here on truck via the bridge or the ferry. I've worked with people like Percy Down and perhaps the honourable member herself to try to find some common sense that we can reduce the costs for Islanders who travel and hopefully reduce the cost of goods that we have to pay for here in the province.
The honourable member from Charlottetown-Hillsborough Park.
The PEI government does have a strong record of making life more affordable, yet the federal government continues to add pressures through policies like the carbon tax and by neglecting the toll issue. Islanders pay steep fees to cross the Confederation Bridge, while other provinces enjoy toll-free federal infrastructure like the Champlain Bridge in Quebec. This unequal treatment leaves Islanders feeling ignored and undervalued. Question to the Premier. Do you believe the Prime Minister's inaction on bridge tolls reflect a lack of commitment to addressing affordability for Islanders and Canadians? And what are you doing to hold the federal government accountable?
The Honourable Premier.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. I feel the honourable member is trying to drag me into a fight with the Prime Minister that I don't really like to have publicly. And I respect her reasoning for doing that, Madam Speaker, very much. I've had lots of differences of opinion, of course, policy and otherwise with the federal government, but it is my job to try to work with them, whoever is the Prime Minister, to try to get the best deal we can for Prince Edward Island of how we go about doing that, Madam Speaker.
The honourable member from Charlottetown-Hillsborough Park.
Islanders deserve a fair and affordable solution to bridge tolls, especially during challenging economic times. The Confederation Bridge is not just a vital link for PEI, but a necessity for all Canadians. Coupled with ongoing frustrations over the federal government's handling of the Wood Islands Ferry, Islanders are left with limited, expensive transportation options. Question to the Premier. How can Islanders work together to demand action that reflects the needs of our province and its people?
The Honourable Premier.
Again, Madam Speaker, I appreciate very much the questioning, and it is awkward for me. I would like to state for the record, I don't like the current situation with the tolls at the bridge. I don't believe they need to be that high, and I would like to see them, and have been working really, really hard to have them reduced or eliminated.